Where did we just film? Sydney Opera House. Very first day I met you, I think I said something. I remember telling you that I have been looking for some specifications, and I think you qualify.
What do you mean? I think I smiled and you said, "Oh, you've got a dimple. You qualify.
Yep.
You definitely qualify." I was like,
When does that happen? Does it happen when, because you were, quote and unquote, already into me, so it was a bit easier for you to.
well, not necessarily for you to say already into me. We had just met, right? But my opinion is,
Yep.
whatever each partner can do, it supports the goals of the partnership. Just do it. You need to be able to give without necessarily expecting things back. Because when your expectations are not met, that's when bitterness starts.
I've been wanting to interview my wife for a very long time. And now finally I get a chance to interview her in Sydney, right in front of the Sydney Opera House. One of the most popular, landmarks in the world, not just Australia. I get to interview my wife here. I'm very, very excited. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a bit of introduction. My name is Freeman, and this is the Yo Freeman channel, the podcast. And my wife is Tina. She's a professional, a wife, a hard worker, and very soon to be mother. Yeah. What? You don't want to be a mother soon?
I do.
All right. So, guys, like I said previously, I've been wanting to interview her, and I think this is a very good opportunity for me to ask her all the questions that I've been wanting to ask. Are you nervous? Are you worried I'm going to ask difficult questions? Well, yeah.
Ready for
If I didn't love you, then I would ask you difficult questions to put you on the spot. But because I love you so much, I'm gonna keep it simple but classy.
shoot.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this. We met a very long time ago. Not long. 8 years is long. 7 years. But we've been together officially for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking, the very first day I met you, I think I said something. Well, we all laughed that day, sort of. But now that I'm growing, now that I'm experiencing life and thinking about it, I kind of think what I said wasn't too smooth, and it was a bit rude. I don't know. So in all honesty, but without hurting my feelings or breaking my heart,
I'll try.
I remember telling you that I have been looking for some specifications, and I think you qualify.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes. So you just meet a girl and then you say you are meeting, you've been looking for some specifications and you think the girl qualifies. I think it comes off as rude. What do you think?
Definitely. So you met me. We're just having a chat where we met. And I think I smiled and you said, "Oh, you've got a dimple. You qualify.
Yep.
You definitely qualify." I was like, "What? What do you mean?" Well, of course, I didn't say that, but like, I was thinking it. What do you mean? Like, okay, who do you think you are? I qualify for what? Like, I definitely thought you were very cocky, like very arrogant, so to speak, at the time for that statement. But then again, I've always been very specific with what I wanted, very specific with what I needed or wanted in a man. So hearing that from him, I just thought about it and I'm like, okay, he knows what he's looking for and I fit the marks. And I have to assess, like assess, does he fit my mark? So that was my perspective after that. After that, that's very sort of arrogant and very cocky of him. I thought about him like, yeah, I like a man who knows, what he wants and go close. So that perspective also helped in going forward with you. So yeah.
Well, I guess that's positive for me, guys. Yeah, it's a win for me. Yeah, so that brings me to my next question. It's actually a sub question. You know, you wanted a man who knows what he wants and goes after what he wants.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the same way with most women? Like, they meet a girl, yeah, with a bit of somebody compliments a girl and they end up in trouble. When does that happen? Does it happen when, because you were, quote and unquote, already into me, so it was a bit easier for you to,
Well, not necessarily for you to say already into me. We had just met, right? I liked something about you.
yeah,
I liked your name. Your name was Mana.
yeah, my name was,
Okay, that's a very unusual name.
yeah,
And I like that you were confident, to come talk to me. I liked some things about you, but I wasn't like into you. I was
oh
just
yeah,
met you, sir.
guys, I think that's a minus for me.
Necessarily. It's just normal. You don't just meet someone
Yeah,
and
that's
sort of
true.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
So obviously I like some stuff about you. That's why I even heard you. That's why I even listened to you. That's why I even went ahead to give you my number. But yeah, I was so sad.
Okay, so next question before we forget. If you didn't like me, had it been a man that you didn't like, then my cockiness would be very rude.
No, you were definitely still rude and arrogant. And
So what difference would it have made if you didn't like me?
as I said it, again, it depends on who the person is,
Yeah.
context. That's what I think.
Okay.
Because it was rude and arrogant. I thought it absolutely. But again, because I go for things I want.
Yep.
That's just my nature.
Okay.
I like something, I like it, I go for it. So I saw that in you and I respected that.
Mm.
That's what I mean. I said that nature in you and I was like, yeah, I could vibe with this. Do you get it?
Yeah.
But had it been someone who had a different sort of personality, I think
And vibe. Yeah.
they would probably just run away from you.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, guys. So I guess this is a lesson for most boys out there. Before you go about being cocky and giving some rude compliments and all of that, just find a way to make sure you are likable or the person actually likes you before you end up in trouble.
How about don't be rude, don't be cocky?
Well, at that point, I didn't think it was rude. I thought I was saying something funny and yeah, all of that. Yeah. So
Well, I wouldn't say it was rude, a bit cocky and arrogant. Rude is not necessarily the way I would use
yeah,
because she didn't do anything to give me that, rude
yeah,
vibe. We just were, as I would say, overly confident.
overly confident.
Definitely, that's the word I would use. You sounded overly confident. So I was like, this boy, but anyway.
Confidence is good, but it was
But
overly
I mean,
confident.
you sounded like I know what I got. I know who I want, and I'm getting her. Like I'm getting you. You had that kind of vibe with you, and I liked it personally. But it could have gone sideways.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
another
would have gone south.
Yeah.
That brings me to my next question. Like you're saying, we met about 8 years ago officially, 2 years as partners. And I'm thinking, you know, you mostly hear people say that when you live with someone for long, they become predictable. Their actions, characters, behaviors, their next moves, they become very predictable. And since you've known me for 8 years, we cohabited and we've been partners for almost 2 years too. I like to ask you, is that really a thing for you? How much do you know me? Would you say you know me in totality, or would you say it gets to a point where you know your partner entirely, or there could still be some surprises along the way?
That's a very good question. Personally, I would not be that arrogant to say I know someone entirely.
Yep.
That being said, human beings are like creatures of habit.
Yeah.
There are certain
Very obvious.
mannerisms, certain things that we keep doing over and over. Like
Yeah.
we are creatures of habit,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So you definitely get to know some habits of some people. For instance, I know most mornings, if not every morning, you're gonna wake up between 5 and 6. It's just who you are. Like, and if I'm not waking up by an alarm, I'm gonna wake up between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
It's also who I am.
Yep.
These habits are hard to go away, right? So
Yeah.
you learn them, right? I know how you like, say, your eggs, how you like to cook them.
Yeah.
So these things are things that, again, you learn them as you go. But people's nature, it's forever changing.
Yep.
That's just my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
That is why some of the most successful marriages are the ones that have learned to grow together.
To grow together. Yeah.
Because as we encountered different situations in life, different complex things in life, it's gonna change us.
Yeah.
It's just human nature. We were not our sense of style has probably changed
Yeah, a lot.
moved
Yeah.
to Australia.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you still expect me to dress the same way I was in Ghana, or if I still expect that on you,
Yeah.
there's gonna be conflict because you're like, oh, I met you, you're like this, don't stay that way. People are gonna change.
Yeah.
Like you just need
So if I'm getting you right,
yeah.
what you're putting across is yes, you get to know bits about the person, like the habits and all of that. But because humans are ever changing beings, very complex and all of that, there still could be some surprises. So assuming they are, those surprises come, how do you manage them? Because yeah, I knew you to be this way. I knew you to like this food. I knew you to, dress this way. And that's what made me like you. And all of a sudden you are changing. All of a sudden, there is that. It feels like I don't know you anymore. How do you do it? And how would you tell people that, in those circumstances, how do you manage it?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to manage your expectations.
Okay.
Don't put your partner or whatever or whoever in a box. Like don't expect them to stay the same way,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Have that open mind that it is possible for them to change.
Okay.
And be willing to change with them. So that's just my opinion. So for instance, I didn't used to go to the gym a lot. Actually, I didn't used to go to the gym
Gym
at
at
all.
all. Yeah.
But I've realized lately that, my body is not as it used to be in the sense that I can eat whatever I want and I'll not gain any kilo. Like I'll not gain nothing. But that is not the same. It's like really start learning the habit of working out. Down the line, it's going to affect me, right?
Yeah.
So now I do go to the gym. So we've had to accommodate that change.
Okay.
We've
So
had to accommodate
yeah,
that.
before you continue, I just want to come in here. That means your partner also have to, grow with you.
Of
Because like you
course.
said, you were not going to gym back in the days and all of that. And all of a sudden now you're working out, probably not just the working out, doing other different stuff. Your partner has to be open-minded and has to grow with you. If I get you right.
Absolutely. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to start going to the gym. I have to be accepting of the fact that they may not be ready to take their health journey seriously.
Seriously.
I need to understand that.
Yeah.
Maybe encourage, but understand that the fact that they're different
Yeah.
and they might take their own time to get there, or they might not get there at all. That is also fine. They might not get to the point where they want to be like, oh, I'm eating healthier, I'm going to the gym. That is fine. I'm here to support them if they do, right?
Yeah.
So my point is manage your own expectations so that you don't put people in a box. Don't stress them out because you have a standard that you want them to meet.
Okay.
In that same way, the other partner must be accepting of the fact that you are capable of changing and growing. And the best thing the two of you can do for that marriage, that relationship,
Yep.
that partnership is to grow together. That's literally is to allow each other to just grow and be each other with.
Well,
That's
yeah.
that's my
And those are very good points, and I think the audience are really going to like it. Yeah, guys, please subscribe to this channel, leave a like so that I could bring more of this content, more of these, interviews for you to learn, for us to learn from you and all of that. So please, before we continue, and I think you guys are enjoying the conversation. This is truthful, very honest, and yeah, in all honesty. So kindly subscribe, leave a like so we can bring you more of this. Yeah, take some wine before, because the next questions coming are very, very heavy. Yeah, are you prepared?
I am.
Yeah, so, you know, most people say, well, I say, I wouldn't really put, but I hear people say a lot that efforts in relationships, marriages, unions are very, very important. Efforts, yeah, like efforts.
Yeah.
Very, very important. And actually, if not the first, then maybe second only to love, because, love is like paramount. And when it comes to effort, you mostly hear the conversation about 50-50, not just financial wise, yeah, in terms of everything, emotional, well, I like to add spirituality for, because we've got a bigger audience and all of that, financial and all of. What do you make of the 50-50 rule? Do you think it's something that is, possible? It's something that is feasible? And if it's feasible, should it be an everyday thing? Like we wake up every day and then we make sure that everything we do is 50-50. I cook in the morning, you cook in the evening. I go to work today, you go to work today. I don't know how that works, but what do you make of the 50-50 rule? And is this something that, yeah.
This is a very complicated topic. There's lots of opinions out there. But my opinion is,
Yep.
whatever each partner can do, it supports the goals of the partnership. Just do it. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That may come out to be that sometimes you'll be giving 70 and I'll be giving 30.
30. Okay.
Sometimes I'll be giving 40 and you'll be giving 60. Sometimes I'll be giving 80.
80.
You're giving 20.
Oh, nothing at all.
Or nothing at all. We all just give up, But 50-50 is just an illusion, in my opinion. It's just a concept
Not
that
possible.
is not practical. It doesn't. No, it's not. Michelle Obama even said it. I remember once in one of her interviews, she said she and her husband, it's mostly like one is giving the majority.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is you both are working your best to support the goal
of the relationship.
support the vision that you have, which I think every marriage should have that.
Okay.
Something you're working
Towards.
because that drive will definitely keep you going.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just what I think. Anyway, financially, emotionally, sometimes I come back from work and I don't want to do nothing. Do nothing. Leave me alone. Yeah, in that moment, I'm probably a 0. And if you are expecting me to be a 50, there's gonna be trouble.
Yeah. Same with
Yeah.
me.
I mean, it's just human nature,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I guess I understand whatever that you're saying. I guess it becomes problematic only when, you keep giving 70 everything and then I keep giving only 30.
So balance.
So there should be a balance because obviously it cannot be 50-50 all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should expect your partner to be giving 80 all the time. They are going to be exhausted.
Yeah,
So
ties into what we were talking about earlier.
yeah.
Expectations.
Well,
It's
yeah.
one of the killers of relationships. Having just be without necessarily
Expecting. Okay.
That for me is what I think the problem. Be what you can be, your best self, in most instances, without necessarily expecting something in return. But then this goes against all human instincts and all human nature.
Okay.
Because human beings we want to take. We want to be loved. We want to be taken care. We want to be, loved on. We like that. Everybody, I want that.
Yeah, I want that too.
Exactly. But you need to be able to, that is selflessness, sorry. You need to be able to give without necessarily expecting things back. Because when your expectations are not met, that's when bitterness starts coming in. So one thing I have learned is if two people who are willing to just give
Yep.
come together, they just keep pouring on watering each other. Just keep watering each other. And that's how the relationship.
So I guess expectation, cuts across this conversation, the way everything. Lower your expectation or have nothing at all. Yeah, so I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, I think Diary of a CEO, and one of his guests, I'm actually reading his book, Psychology of Money. I can't really remember his name, but he said something that really resonated with me and it stuck with me for a while.
Okay.
He mentions that one of the, happiest things that he can do is to just take a walk with his wife, and that makes him very happy. And also the most important thing is he's killed all expectations that he has of his wife. So if he's thirsty and he's busy doing something and the wife gets him like water,
Yeah.
he's very
He's just
grateful
grateful for it.
because he's not even expecting the wife to. So he mentions that to keep a marriage, a relationship, whatever union going, just don't expect anything from your partner
Yeah.
and be forever grateful that they do the little things for you. Because Yeah, don't be entitled to it.
No. I think this is something I learned along our journey.
Yeah.
I hadn't been in any relationship.
Yeah, well, she waited for me, so
I have to say,
yeah, the afternoon.
I hadn't. So, I mean, I did know a lot because, we had some group meetings and, stuff like that I learned a couple of things. But I learned this particular principle in the course of our relationship.
Our relationship.
Give without expecting. Contribute everything that you can, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, contribute to the relationship without expecting anything in return.
In return, yeah.
Again, I also end up always saying that it takes two to tango. It takes two people to make it work.
Yeah,
Right?
obviously.
So you feel lucky and you meet someone who also has that mindset. The relationship is always going to flourish.
Okay.
There's always going to be someone giving at some point in time, someone planning, someone, gathering, someone, because if one is not doing it the other way, then it's just going to make things very beautiful.
Very beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I have one last question for you before we go. It's a little question about the little things in relationship. How long do they go to, sustain the relationship, ensure the continuity and longevity of the relationship? I mean, little things. As a woman, as my wife, as my partner, as someone that I've known you for 8 years, do you think the little things in a relationship go a long way to should it always be about the big things like
Yeah.
discussing big financial goals and all of that, or the little things like making food for you when you are least expectant of it, or coming back from work and meeting food, or just waking you one morning and saying let's take a walk? Do you think it goes a long way to sustain a relationship? Can it do that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it might seem obvious that the answer is yes, but there's a lot of layers to that question
Okay.
or that answer.
Yeah.
So, for instance, what I think you should focus on, or we should focus on, or any couple should try and focus on,
Okay.
is learning your person as much as possible. Again, we've already said that you cannot truly know the person entirely,
Yeah.
but pay attention to learning your person. So, for instance, I love good food. You know that.
She does.
So, and I said good food because not just any food. Being it you are ordering food for us
Yeah.
or you're cooking for us. I love those things because it's important to me.
Important, yeah, I know.
But I'm not a very what is the word for that? I'm not a person that likes too many things.
Yeah.
So they ordered me clothes or whatever. I'll be grateful for it, yeah? But not as much as if I come back from work and you've cooked food. I'll be jumping, like I'll be thanking you for days. Because those little things matter to me.
To you.
In that same way, I know how you like to be taken care of. So little things like me helping you do your hair or cutting your nails for you, like trimming your toenails for you, or some silly
This shouldn't go live. It shouldn't go live. I don't want people to know that bit.
right? These may seem insignificant and helping trim your toenails take like what? 5 minutes.
Maximum, yeah.
It's not that long. But I know how important to you it is. And these are the little things that actually matter. Because they are the things that make you feel loved and taken care of.
That's true.
And it goes both ways. So when we talk about the little things, right? We are talking about the things that are very insignificant but can go a long
Carry a
way
very big weight here in the relationship. Yeah.
to flourish the relationship. So for instance, you wake up before me and I don't like sleeping in the daylight. So when you wake up, you always close the curtains. Like you always make sure that it's dark. Even when we left it during the night, the wind, we want the fresh wind.
I think this is something that I've never told her, and this is the first time that I'm telling her, because I wake up very early,
Yeah.
mostly around 4 or 5. I'm already up, and she sleeps a bit, into the morning.
Yeah.
When I wake up and I pee, I'm scared of I don't know. I sometimes I wish there was a soundproof, yeah, so I wouldn't have to wake you up,
Yeah.
and that's how that's how far I want to go to ensure that she sleeps. She has quality sleep. Yeah.
Because again, these little things. If I wake up before 6, I'm going to be grumpy. I'm
Yeah.
going to be tired and just not my best self, and it's going to affect our whole day. Not because I want it to, but because I'm just tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So such small considerations like, oh, I'm walking up, there's light coming in from the window. I'll shut it and then I'll leave the room so that I don't wake Tina up. It doesn't take much brain power to do.
And it doesn't take
Changing
money to.
everything
Yeah.
for me, right? So the little things. You're living with a person, learn them and learn the things that actually make impacts to them, regardless of how small or how tiny it is. Do that and it's just going to make everything better.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I guess what I'm taking from this whole conversation, lower your expectations. If not, have no expectations of your partner at all. Just be grateful for the part that they are your partners and they are willing to do life with you. And then also the little things, they are very insignificant. They seem insignificant, but they carry a lot of weight in the relationship. And what's the other one? We think 50-50 is an illusion and it's really not possible. But that doesn't mean that you leave all the workload to your partner. And what's the other thing? Yeah, this one is actually to the boys. When you meet a girl, please toe the line safely before you end up in trouble.
The girls too, actually, if you want to go after a boy, make sure he likes you. Like observe the person.
And I think we'll have this topic one day. Yeah. It's actually very dicey and we'll have it one day. Guys, I guess you guys are enjoying this conversation. I'm actually enjoying it. I've been with my wife for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And I've not really had the chance to interview her, talk to her. We talk a lot, but not yet officially, like,
Yeah.
formally, doing something together. So I'm really grateful to have you here today. Yeah, I came to Sydney with you, but I wasn't expecting you to be here to be interviewed by me. So I'm really, really grateful for this conversation.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I hope to have you more on the show. Yeah, so you share what you know. I get to learn from you. And I think through this, I'm going to learn a lot that I really don't know about my life, about my wife. Because like she mentioned previously, you could be with someone, know their habits and all of that, but you can't know someone in the totality. Yeah. So I guess this also helps me. It helps the audience and all of that. But I'm really grateful to have you here.
Yeah, me too.
And you guys should subscribe so we can bring in more audience. We can bring in more interviewees, and then you can enjoy this channel. All right, I guess that would be it. Thank you so much for staying with us and hanging in with us. It's been an interesting conversation with my wife, Sina.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. When do
I
you want
hope
to
you
come
can
back?
hang out soon.
When do you want to come back again?
Let's see how many likes we get.
On this?
Yeah,
Likes
500 likes, I'll come back.
What if you don't get? This is sort of an expectation.
yeah,
You were
remember.
expecting us to.
Putting an expectation on you. Though I haven't, I've literally spoken about not expecting stuff. But I expect 500 likes and then I'll come back on the podcast.
500 likes.
Yeah, let's do this.
Subscribers.
100. At least 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, we can do it. Guys, we can do it. This is going to be a very big, project.
A milestone.
A milestone for us. So, yeah, we'll be talking to you a lot. We'll be bringing in people to speak to you. And the only thing that we are expecting of you is to hit the like button and subscribe to. All right. Thank you so much.
See you later.